The exploration of space has allowed man to obtain answers to many questions about the universe and its formation. This has been achieved thanks to the work done by astronauts, mainly those who spend long periods on space stations. Now, can you imagine being in space and living a supernatural experience? Believe it or not, many astronauts claim to have had strange, difficult to explain sightings. Most of them have not been made public, to avoid any doubts about the mental health of these protagonists. But with the passing of time, some of these professionals have made known the strange things they saw in space. Here are some of these surprising stories. Angels in space. For a long time, these winged beings have been related to divinity and good omens. And believe it or not, a group of Russian astronauts claims to have seen them in space, not once, but twice. These sightings occurred through Salyut 7, the same station from which the Soviet Union carried out 12 manned missions. The encounters, which are still intriguing scientists, occurred at different times, but in very similar circumstances. The first one took place on July 12, 1984. At that time, Salyut 7 was manned by astronauts Vladimir Solovyov, Leonid Kizin, and Oleg Atkov. According to the protagonists themselves, they were doing medical experiments when a bright orange cloud surrounded the station. At the same time, the equipment and systems began to fail. Thinking that it could be fire and fearing for their lives, the crew went to the window to see what was happening outside. As they looked, they saw an intense light that blinded them. After transmitting the news to their team on the ground, the trio looked out the window again. At that moment, something extraordinary and incredible happened. On one side of the station were floating 7 almost human figures of great size. The witnesses say they were about 78 to 80 feet tall. The most surprising thing is that they had enormous wings and shone intensely. The apparition lasted for 10 minutes. After that, the 7 humanoids disappeared, perplexing the astronauts. Before the incredible and inexplicable vision, they concluded that it was the work of a hallucination, a byproduct of their stay in space. Everything would have remained that way if it had not been for 5 days later, when the astronauts lived a similar experience. On this occasion, they were accompanied by astronauts Igor Volk, Svetlana Savitskaya, and Vladimir Zanibakov, who was the commander. All of them were crew members of Soyuz T-12. These 6 space navigators perceived the orange glow that enveloped the station. And again, they looked at those winged figures. They stared back at the Russians, and according to them, it even seemed that they were smiling. A few minutes later, the 7 angels disappeared and were never seen again. The bewilderment this time was greater than the first time, for the theory of a hallucination was practically discarded. So what was it? The cosmonauts reported the incident to Earth, and once they finished their mission in space, they returned to the planet. Once here, multiple physical and mental examinations were performed, and they all came out without anomalies. Today, it is still not known exactly what these astronauts saw. Many claim that they were angels. Others, however, speculate that they were extraterrestrials or the product of the astronauts' subconscious. The astronaut who saw a strange being. For many years, it has been suspected that NASA hides evidence of the existence of extraterrestrial life. This theory was practically confirmed by a member of the organization. This is the astronaut Leland Melvin, who for many years participated in various NASA missions. Through his Twitter account, this astronaut claimed to have had a suspicious sighting near his cargo compartment. The statement was made after being asked about his view on the existence of extraterrestrial life. Melvin denied having direct contact with a UFO, but said he saw an organic and alien appearance floating. This sighting was reported by the same astronaut to NASA, but the fact did not transcend. In other words, it seems that it was not given the importance it required. Was it like this? Or was this organization simply not interested in knowing more about it? The anomaly seen by Neil Armstrong. If there is a man recognized by astronomical science, it is Neil Armstrong, the first man to step on the moon. This important event in human history occurred on July 21, 1969. Well, it was during this mission that Armstrong observed an anomaly in space that fortunately was recorded in a photograph. It was a floating, indeterminate figure seen next to the Earth. What is this figure? It has never been explained by NASA, nor has it been clarified whether it was seen before or after the moon landing. The truth is, it remains as a record of the strange things that can be seen in space. Now, can you trust what these astronauts say? Many would say yes. Moreover, it is not just one testimony, but several. So these experiences cannot be discarded as simple inventions or hallucinations.